Hello everybody, welcome back. So I'm actually up in my sewing room right now, and I wanted to show you this machine. Bob showed it really quick on his channel a while back. He brought it to me when him and Jen came up in December, and I've been playing with it today, and I think I finally got it figured out. So I'm just going to give you a quick little demo on it. It's called a Johnson Ruffling machine. It's a Singer 15 clone base that then the Johnson sewing machine guys have reworked into a ruffling only machine. That's the only thing this does, is make ruffles. And basically the modification on this machine turns it into this. So if you're into sewing attachments, you know that this is a ruffler that has an adjustment for all different adjustments. Honestly, there's several different adjustments on here. But the whole purpose of this is to move fabric through like that, okay? A certain number of ruffles per stitch and different sizes and everything. That's what this is. So I do not know all the ins and outs of this machine. You know, it comes with instructions. A lot of the instructions is just basic 15 sewing machine stuff, and then the rest of it is about the ruffler. So what I want to do is just show you it doing its thing. So let me get you a little bit closer here and see if I can get the camera in here. Okay, so down here on the plate, if I turn on my light, it's going to interfere with my camera, so this is about as good as we got. Here's this part here is going to go in and out. You can see that whole bar moving in and out like that. And this is connected up here. It's going straight in. And I honestly have not opened up the faceplate to see exactly where this shaft is connected. It's connected in there somewhere. Down here is a ruffle adjustment. Right now I have it set so that this little loop here is right around at the 5 o'clock position, I would say. And I have it set so that I have a 2-to-1 ratio. That's what I was playing with all day. So if I have a 1 foot long piece of fabric, it's going to ruffle it down to a 6-inch long piece of fabric, okay? And by having it set at that, I think it'll be usable for me in a lot of different ways. Let me get you in closer. Alrighty, so one thing I have learned playing with this is that it doesn't do very well with just one single lightweight layer of fabric. Okay, this is a very lightweight woven. If I try to just put this one little thin layer in, it's not going to do it very well. However, if I fold it over, then we're in business. So the first thing I'm going to show you is just this machine just making this piece ruffled, okay? So first I slide it under that little part, put the presser foot down. Over here on the stitch length, you cannot do reverse. There's a block at that point. You can only go the longest to a short, but you can't go reverse, okay? And I have it set here. On their scale, it's around the bottom of the square. That's all I know, okay? Okay, that's just the reflection on my wall. Just ignore that. Okay, so here we go. Now, actually, there is a slider right here that would help if I put it on. So, if I remember right, no, it's not like that. It's like this. And that's going to help me keep this coming in at the right position here. Right there. So can you see that? How it's just making a little ruffle. And here, let me just go a little more. Okay. Alrighty, so if I go ahead and raise the presser foot, pull this out. It does feel a little bit sticky. I've put oil all over it. I may need to do it again. I think I just ran out of bobbin is my issue. But what I want to show you is the way that it makes these little ruffles. They're like tiny little pleats, okay? So setting the stitch length is where it's going to tell you how wide your stitches are, how far apart your pleats are. The little dial, that little orange dial there, that is going to tell you how deep each one of these little pleats are, okay? So that's one thing. Let me show you one more thing it can do. Okay, so now with the understanding that I am still figuring this out and learning here as I show you, what I'm going to show you is how you can ruffle and sew it to a piece of fabric at the same time. So I'm going to take this shorter piece here. Oops, you know what? I need to fix my bobbin first. Hang on. Okay, that's about as good as I can get with this light. So what I'm going to do is starting up here in the front, I'm putting my fabric underneath this little metal piece. There's a finger here. I'm going to put it over that finger and then again underneath. And get that pulled through here. Okay, so it's just barely sticking out the back. Right there. Okay, just ignore that thread. That's a garbage thread. Okay. Now I'm going to get my little piece that I want to ruffle. All right, so I'm going to slide my little piece to be ruffled this way, and it's going on top. All right, so you can see the entire fabric here. The one it's sewing onto is like that. All right, put my presser foot down, and I think the key is to hold everything together. So here we go. Okay, so you see how it's kind of doing it, but it's not wanting to gather very well. And that is because I just have the single layer of fabric. Sometimes it's grabbing it, sometimes it's not, all right? So I'm going to pull that off, and we're going to do it again, but with the part that I want to ruffle doubled. Okay, so I can show you that. So the one I'm going to sew it on is still just a single layer. Putting it down here underneath, and my presser foot is up, okay? But this time, the one I want to ruffle, I have it pressed under, so it's doubled, okay? So now I'm going to put that over here and bring it through and set it down. And just to guide me, I'm going to put a little mark right here where I need to keep the edge of this fabric. Actually, this would be a good time to slide this piece back on. Come on. Okay, so I'm going to slide this on over that bottom piece. Come on over, little piece, okay? So that way I can see that I need to keep this here. And let's get her started. Getting a little bunchy there. And look, I'm all out of whack. Like I said, I'm still figuring it out. Okay, you can see when I'm getting over to where it's doubled, it's consistent. When I got over here, where it was not, okay? So I'm still trying to figure out how the guide system works and everything, but let me just pull this over. That's good. So I came to the end of my fabric that I'm sewing onto, and yes, I have threads everywhere. This stuff is shedding like crazy. All right, so this is what we have. It is sewing, it is ruffling this and sewing it to this fabric at the same time. All right, so if I, orchestrated it correctly and everything, I could do that when I'm attaching a ruffle to the bottom of a skirt and then open it up this way if I had my fold the opposite way and everything. But you can see, that's the idea. Again, I'm still figuring it out, but I wanted to show you guys how cool this machine was. And what I think it would be really good for is if you were doing a project with a lot of ruffles, a lot of gathers that were a consistent size all the way across. Because once you get, it's kind of tricky, organizing everything so that your stitch length and your ruffle depth are correct so that you have the right ratio. But if you were doing a project that had a consistent, amount of ruffles to do, it would be great for that. I know that I've seen them online where they use these for making ballet tutus and things like that, where they're ruffling a huge amount of tulle and things. And I can see that it'd be fabulous for that, because then you just have a very long strip of ruffles that you can just put on and sew on and things like that. So, okay, so I know that kind of looked like a mess when I was just doing, so sorry about that. It happens sometimes, but I wanted to show you this piece that I actually did just before I turned on the camera. So you can see when everything is doubled, this is just a piece of calico I folded in half, okay? But when it's doubled and it's nice fabric and I'm not confused, it does do a very nice, very consistent ruffle, okay? So that's fun. That is fun. I think that for right now, I am just going to double my fabric when I'm using it, and I'm probably not going to be using it to sew onto something as it's ruffled. I think for me, just ruffling it like that is plenty, because then I can take this piece and sew it onto whatever I want, and I think that that's pretty cool. So anyway, that is it. That is the, you can see that label, Johnson Ruffling Machine. And yeah, she's pretty cool, very cool. Thank you so much, Bob, for bringing it up to me. Really appreciate that. I'm having fun playing with her. And I have no doubt by the end of, my fabric process that I'm working on right now, I'll get her all figured out. But for right now, I'm just enjoying playing with her. So thanks for watching, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.